All right, we might as well just start it up. Everybody, welcome back. Double Bogey Show, episode 218.
What's up? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, dude, we've been doing this for a long time. I feel like an old man.
Guys, before we get deep into the episode, we obviously got to tell you about our title sponsor, Nicolay Law. The man,
Who?
the myth.
Tell me about him.
The man, the myth, the lawyer. Russell Nicolay.
Oh, that should be his new tagline.
Put that on a billboard. And I don't say that lightly because I bet Russell would put that on a billboard.
He probably would.
The man,
honestly.
the myth, the lawyer, Russell Nicolay. I mean, he's award-winning in damn near every state you look in. You can fact check that for yourself. But
every state that he's licensed in, he is actually award-winning.
Correct. I mean, obviously, like you guys have heard us talk before. Personal injury lawyer. If you guys ever injured at work, injured anywhere, Tyler breaks his leg, flag football.
Should have sued Miles.
Yeah, maybe just a good resource to reach out to and see, hey, is there anything I should be doing here? Any due diligence on my part? Russell Nicolay is going to be the guy for you to give you all of that information. Family-owned, family-run law firm. Again, I can't imagine working with your family. I live with mine.
You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like they love it. It's a family affair. NicolayLaw.com. Guys, if you ever have any questions for Russell Nicolay, be sure you reach out.
Yep.
We were talking to ice houses before this, and
our golf replacement. I have recently come into a spear house.
Yeah, and
I'm very excited.
I recently opened up my portable fish house in the warehouse yesterday, and there was a mouse nest in it, and it had chewed through one layer of the thermal part of, because I got the clam thermal X, not just the clam.
Not to brag,
keeps it way warmer there. So I opened that up because we were having an issue with it being too cold in our air compressor room. So naturally, I'm like, hey, I have a buddy heater here with propane cylinders. Got that baby fired up, started heating that room up, and then as I'm digging in my portable for a couple more cylinders, I realize there's like little itsy bitsy pieces of like grass and leaves and like seeds. And I'm like, oh,
those
God.
seeds could have been poop.
Yeah, I'm not dragging grass and shit in here when I'm fishing in it, but I know what is dragging that in here, and that's a fucking mouse.
So do you think the mouse nest was transported here from your home?
Probably.
Okay, because I put out that you gave me a project on a Friday. I put out a bunch of mouse traps.
Yes, I did.
And we haven't caught anything.
No, we haven't.
So
which is a good thing.
It is good, but now I hear this mouse nest thing, and I'm maybe thinking that I'm getting fucking Tom and Jerry style by all these mice.
I think it was probably transported because we had bird seed. Dumb move of me to keep the bird seed on the floor in my shed at my house. So when I transported the fish house here to the bunker, that's probably where it happened. So yeah, I know you're super excited about yours. I'm not super excited about mine, but those cancel each other out, and we both just have fish houses now.
Yes. Yeah, I have a fish house that's old school, clearly home built because it has the same exact siding on it as my new house. Ooh. So they definitely just made it with the leftover siding from.
Yeah. I got some leftover flooring from my kitchen. Mm-hmm. If you want to redo the flooring in there, you can throw some laminate down.
That's actually not a bad idea.
No,
because I think the walls are just black rubber to keep it warm in there. So I think I'm going to throw some sort of paneling over the black rubber.
Yeah, you do some shiplap maybe.
Maybe there's a little shiplap in my spear house.
Yeah,
but the problem is I don't know how to get this thing on the ice.
You got skis on it?
It does, but I don't have anything. I'm not going to drive my truck in the ditch. I don't have a 4-wheeler or a Ranger or anything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could pull it on the road after a fresh snowfall, so you have a little bit of traction, but that sucker's going to slide right into the ditch sideways if you pull it on the road. So I think I'm just going to have to fucking get like 5 buddies and He-Man that bitch up onto a trailer and then give everybody a key to the house. You got a tractor? Yeah, it's a ways away though. And I don't have forks. I just have a bucket. So we'd still have to He-Man it into the bucket, and then I would have to drive the tractor onto the lake, which I don't want to do. Yeah, I mean they have like ball attachments for forks to where you can like you can put a ball hitch on a fork and then you maneuver it that way. But you got skis, so you don't have a ball hitch. You just have a rope. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't have anything.
Is it heavy?
It looks heavy. It looks well built.
How far do you have to pull it?
8 miles.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say you could just walk it over.
Well, I mean, dude, I can't push this thing. I really don't know how I'm going to use it.
Well, I think what you do is you just borrow the trailer from work here and you just slide it up on there and then
it won't fit.
Jesus criminy.
I'm telling you, dude, I really think my only option, I mean, maybe the tractor, I can lift it up into the truck, but how am I going to get it out? I can't just push it out and drop it on the ice.
You get your dad's side by side.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best option. But I don't know. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm just really excited. It might end up getting turned into a playhouse for the kids.
That's actually not a bad idea either.
I don't know. It's a really unfortunate, but I'll find a way.
Here's what you could do. You tiptoe the line of a doomsday prepper and not. What you could do is just like stash that thing out in the trees / long grass and make it look like that thing's been sitting there for 40 years. But on the inside, there's a huge like tunnel through the floor that you could then tunnel into. Again, I'm a huge fan of
underground bunkers.
Underground shipping containers. I've never seen one, nor have I ever. I've never even researched it, but I'm already a huge fan. This tunnel goes down to underground shipping container or some sort of bunker underground. No one's going to be checking that if they're out scavenging for food.
Nope. No, I think it's a great idea. That's definitely an option because I don't even need to make a trap door in the floor of that fish house because it's a spear house. It already has the trap door. Correct.
And if the bunker is big enough, you could put like a net down there for hitting. You could hit balls down there.
That
doesn't take up any room in your garage.
A must have in any doomsday bunker is a golf net.
Now, would you rather? I know the answer already, but I'm just going to ask it anyways because the answer is pretty obvious. Would you rather have a detached oversized shed with a like golf simulator in it, or would you rather have it in your garage?
Shed.
Okay, and I already knew the answer.
Hands down.
The only thing is that shed, like, because I'm currently trying to find a solution for my lawn tractor, and when I have the bucket and the snowblower on it, it's 15 feet long.
Oof.
So I need like a 18 foot by 8 or 10 foot shed just to fit this tractor.
Can you take the bucket off?
I can take the bucket off, yes, but I don't really want to.
I know it's a pain in the ass,
and it's good for scraping the driveway.
Yeah. What do you do? Maybe fucking just build a lean-to, keep the snow off it. Like you ever drive by
it's not a bad idea.
Giant field and it's just a no walls 4-post with a roof, and they park their combine under there all year.
Yeah. It has got me thinking though. It's like, God, I could definitely save some space in the garage. I mean, I could save an entire stall if I just had a detached shed with a simulator in it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's your land. You can do whatever the hell you want there.
I could do whatever I want to.
Build one.
That's the other thing, Tom.
What you could do
I'm not
too.
super handy when it comes to building structures, like actual structures that need to stand for long periods of time.
So the nice thing, if you're building it for a simulator, you don't have to put a floor in. You could hit off the dirt.
Yeah, get really good at the bunker shots.
You'd be closer. No, you just leave grass in there, dude.
I know grass isn't going to grow though because there's really no sunlight.
Yeah, you get a skylight on your roof.
Okay, we're talking more costs there.
Okay, well, you go 4 walls. That skylight can't be that much. It's just cutting a hole in the roof, putting some plexiglass over it.
Insulation, plexiglass ain't gonna insulate it very good.
Who cares?
You're
gonna stay warm, swinging the sticks over and over, and then you keep the grass in there, right? And it's way close. We always talk about how simulator golf is deceiving because it's a perfect lie every time.
Yeah.
Now you're playing on real dirt, real grass.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be that easy. I like where your head's at. Don't get me wrong.
Hey,
I love where your head's at.
All right, I changed my. How about this? How do
I get my? I'd have to have a weed whacker in there so I could trim the grass if it does happen.
Well, you fucking love trimming grass. What are you talking about?
I do.
More grass to trim. That's great. How about this? Don't build a shed at all. Get one of those greenhouses.
Yeah, I mean, that's also not a bad idea. Kind of what I'm banking on is to just buy a legitimate shed or have one built with my Dogecoin investment.
And how is that looking?
I don't have any Dogecoin. I don't have any yet.
That is step one for sure.
Yeah. I actually tried to throw an order in the other day and it got canceled, luckily, because then I regretted doing it. I'm like, I'm just buying into the hype right now.
Wait, it's back? I thought that shit was all dead.
Oh, no, it's back.
Well, dead in a sense of like the price dropped, but it's always been there.
Huh. I thought people stopped doing all that.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes one person to tweet about it for it to skyrocket. For me to own a brand new golf simulator.
For some reason, we talk about this, how I'm on Reddit all the time. I keep getting the same ad for this Bitcoin mining game.
Oh yeah.
I'm so tired of it.
Yep.
It wants me to just mine Bitcoins as a game. It's like a literal like child's game.
Yep.
But it's mining Bitcoins.
Yep. I mean, people have like these machines that they just have set up in their house that it just like mines Bitcoin or like you guys, I don't fucking know how.
What are they mining it from?
Don't know.
Is there fucking where are they getting them?
The Wi-Fi. I think it's it's like Pokemon. It's lost within the Wi-Fi. Where when you got to go out searching for Pokemon in like every which different place. I think finding it like a holographic Charizard, like first edition, is like finding one full Bitcoin on one of these machines.
Okay, but I don't.
The cost of the price of each is probably very similar as well.
What are they mining though?
I don't know.
Like, can't you just? I don't understand what a Bitcoin is. I'm so confused.
Bitcoin mining is the process of creating new Bitcoins by solving extremely complicated math problems that verify transactions in the currency.
So you're literally just it's like printing money if you're good at math?
That's what it sounds like. When a Bitcoin is successfully mined, the miner receives a predetermined amount of Bitcoin.
What the hell?
I don't understand that.
I think this is a topic of conversation for a different podcast. Instead of us talking about it, we should go listen about it and
dude, I don't know. There's a lot of golfers that are very into Bitcoin.
Well, that's the thing, and it's like you have all these garbage coins popping up. A lot of them are scam coins. Like it's just a huge pump and dump.
I should make one called Scam Coin.
People will promote.
People would buy it.
People will promote this coin as if it's going to just absolutely skyrocket. They'll buy a shit ton of it, and then once other people buy in, they'll dump theirs, and because they own a majority of it, the price will just drop, and everyone else gets screwed. So
classic.
Anyway,
switch.
Talking money though, buying this, buying that. New drivers. Obviously, 2025 is right down the road. We're in December now, and it's the month for new driver leaks.
Oh yeah.
So what happens every December is I feel like new driver technology for golf club companies is kind of like Senate elections. It's like every 2 years. Every 2 years you have an election for a new Senate, whatever.
Midterms.
Yep. It's kind of the same with drivers,
general elections. Whatever. I don't know politics.
These companies release drivers on this given year, and then it's like 2 years after, it's the same companies. 2 years after, it's like alternating between golf club companies. Mm-hmm. What I saw for 2025 is so far the leaked photos, the tour players that are testing these clubs out in their bag. Wilson, Srixon, Callaway, and Cobra. 4 different clubs that I've seen so far that have new drivers coming out.
Callaway's been pumping out a lot of new drivers. They're not missing anything. They're doing a new one every 2 years.
Yes. My question is, we go back to the marketing of these golf clubs. Mm-hmm. It's the dispersion percentage factor carbon fiber.
Yeah, the dystopian Kyber crystal.
It is the Pythagorean theorem.
Yep.
Distance to the pin MOI MSRP QRX
molded in the fires of Mordor.
It is this and that from an engineering standpoint. And I think the reason that they do this is because us golfers who are not engineers do not understand that, but the buzzwords sound really cool. And that's how we get bought into it.
See, most people, absolutely. For me, it's just like, what the I'm confused.
Now,
don't confuse me and I'll buy your club.
Now, what would happen if a golf club company, because, okay, here's what's happening. When a new driver comes out, they're like, this is our best technology yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, shit. Like, I thought I had the best technology driver when I bought this 2 years ago. And it's like, so now
I got better.
Right. So now I got to buy a new one. And that's part of the catch. Right. But it's like the Nike square face driver.
Mm-hmm.
People are absolutely in love with that driver. And will we ever get to a point where a company, even if it's not the best technology, but everything else, like the technology is good enough, the feel is phenomenal, the design is super cool, where they just go all in. They just go all in on one driver for years and years and years, and people gravitate and love it because it's been around for so long, and the reviews on this thing over the course of X amount of years are phenomenal.
Okay, I could be wrong, but I think they're already doing that and just changing design tweaks to make us think we're getting a new driver. I feel like we've been getting the same drivers over and over every year. Well, and they just make it look a little cooler or a little different.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like when you go hit a new driver at a fitting, like I don't know what it is about. I mean, in a fitting, you're taking shot after shot after shot. You're swinging the driver, say 60, 70, 80, 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you take those percentages and you apply them to an actual round of golf, say, I don't know how the percentages work or the terminology for it, but like, say you have a 70% dispersion rate, whatever the fuck that means, when you're getting your fitting. That's over the course of 100 shots, but you're not taking 100 driver swings on the actual course. You are taking
10.
18 minus 4, because you got normally you have 2 par 3s per side.
Right, and I'm not.
So 14 driver swings at most.
For me, realistically 10, because I'm gonna hit my 7 iron or whatever, different club on a par 4.
Like a hard dog leg right at 210 yards.
Yep.
And there's trees on the right. Like you're probably gonna hit let's say a hybrid 4-iron, whatever.
Yeah, there's just at least 4 of those traditional driver holes I'm not hitting driver.
Yeah. So, and granted, like the percentage there, if it's 70% in the fitting, is like if you can hit 7 out of 10 fairways, that I would be calling.
Sign me up.
I'd be calling my golfing buddies in a heartbeat if I hit 7 of 10 fairways. But that's not the case. I might hit 3, 4. If I'm lucky, I'll hit 50% of my fairways.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a rare occurrence. So it's like, well, fuck, I just spent, $600, and the price of drivers too is getting outrageous. I highly recommend buying an old model that used to be the best technology, because it's still going to be good, and saving yourself $200, $300, $400.
And it's the same thing as this new one. It just doesn't look as cool.
It's just named different.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit confused when it comes to new drivers being put out on the market and this new technology and the terminology that is being used around these new clubs that none of us understand. It's like, break it down for me in a sports science sense. So when they used to do sports science, for instance, Francis Ngannou has one of the hardest punches in the entire world. And they relate the strength of his punch to like getting hit by a Honda Civic at 30 miles an hour.
Jesus.
Or whatever, for instance. Break it down for me in that sense. Like, hey, this new driver hitting this golf ball is like, it mimics taking an old metal bat from when we were all 12 years old before they switched over to BB Core.
Mm-hmm.
The old metal bats were called the Besser bats, BESR. This new driver is like hitting a golf ball with a Besser bat back in 2006.
Hell yeah. Best sound in the world.
Like how many now retired high school, college baseball players would know what that actually means?
I don't know.
A large majority of them.
Because you're the only one of those I know.
But you know that the old metal bats could fucking
I know that they
baseballs.
were sick. I remember that I had a big problem in Babe Ruth of being too early on my swing. So I switched to the heaviest Besser bat we had. And then I would just push everything down the right field line. And it was awesome. My batting average went up so much in the next 4 games just because I got like 3 triples just dribbling them down the right-hand line because I couldn't get the bat around fast enough.
Apple Popple. I bet your coach was so rock hard over you hitting opposite field at that age.
Yeah, it was absolutely not skill-based. It was just the bat was heavy as fuck. So my swing speed was way down, and I would just dribble it down the right field line. It would pop right over the first baseman's head, roll down the right field line, and I was fast enough. I was a lot of doubles, couple triples in the next like 4 games.
I love the sound of that.
Yep. So
I love the sound of a golf ball off of a Besser bat.
Yeah, that's my only Besser bat experience. Love that thing. Hope it's doing good. Hope he still has it.
The Black Magic.
It was
the TPX.
It was gray and purple. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I don't know what that one was.
Yeah, it was a heavy bitch. That's all I know. Speaking of clubs and their design, a couple weeks back, we've talked about the Q Golf with the interchangeable head, and Ryan, you had the stroke of genius talking about a club that was a shaft, right?
The adaptive or
I don't know what you called it, but essentially it was one shaft with 14 club heads.
Yep.
And he just changed it, right?
Yep.
Turns out they made that in
tell me that
the
you got
70s.
Okay.
I did not buy a set, no, but after that podcast aired, we got sent this thing no less than 15 times from our listeners.
Really?
It is called the Porto Club from the 1950s. Not only did this already exist, it has existed for almost 100 years.
Holy.
We could not have been more off the mark. This has been around for so long, and exactly how we described it. It is every single club has its own head. You screw it into the one shaft and it goes in a fucking backpack, just like we said it should. So it turns out we're not so different from our ancestors in the 1950s because they absolutely nailed the design. This is exactly what we were talking about.
That is sick. So what this is saying is that we have good ideas. We're just a little bit late with these good ideas.
We're just 75 years late.
That's actually really cool.
It is super cool. This guy, so there's a post about it. I'll send it to you, Noah, so you can see it. But basically, they're obviously discontinued. It started in the 1950s, and it's super, super rare to find a set in good condition.
Okay.
So there was obviously a market for it at some point. So why not again? Like, I know we get the Q Club coming in, and I'm excited to try it. But I mean, I kind of feel attached to this idea because it's the one that we came up with in the podcast. Right.
Now the Q Club is a lot more. It's a lot more versatile because it's one
simpler.
Club. Yes, it's one club, and I feel like just carrying one club versus a backpack of 14. Anyone in their right mind is going to choose the one club.
You're right, but we've never had an original idea.
No,
we can't
swinger golf.
Yeah, but that wasn't original. There's 57 other people already working on the app.
Working since 2006.
Yeah, they've been on it.
And then they just claimed it could be done in 2 months.
But it's literally every single thing we've come up with. Vending machines on the holes, done. Fucking drone delivery service, done. Like everything we come up with. Noah thought he invented the drink booth every 4 holes. Done. Like there has to be an original idea that we can come up with. I don't know what it is, obviously, because we keep trying over and over and over and missing, but we are going to come up with something completely 100% original for the game of golf. And we got to jump on that shit because in a game where everything's already been invented, one new thing could make you a shitload of money.
And I think where you are, like where a guy is successful at coming up with an original idea in the game of golf is the training aid space.
Right.
Because it seems, I mean, there is a training aid for everything, and times that by 10 for each different aspect of the mechanical swing.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, there's so many different things in your swing that can go wrong. They make a training aid for every single element of it.
Now, if I see someone on the course, like using a training aid while playing,
psycho move.
Jeffrey Dahmer type of move.
If I don't know, what would they be using?
Well, fuck, I don't know. There's that like.
Can you imagine like
there's that L-shaped deal that like
you put on
attaches
your forearm.
To your club, and then there's like a U shape at the end that like curls around your wrist, so that I don't know. When it comes to the game of golf and training aids, swing aids, this and that, you guys, it purely comes down to how you feel in the golf swing.
Yeah.
If you feel uncomfortable with a training aid, like sometimes you do have to, if you want to make big improvements, you do have to get used to the uncomfortable feel of like a different setup or a different grip or what have you, because that may make you better. But if you're trying to make like minute changes, it purely just has to come down to feel.
Yeah. Back to if I saw someone using a training aid in an actual round, like if I saw a guy with a towel between his arms or whatever that training method is of having a towel on your arms, I would do everything I could to avoid that person.
If I saw someone using a training aid on the actual golf course, I think I'd have to rear end their golf cart.
I'm staying away from very different approaches, same sentiment, but I can't go near that guy because that's the guy who clearly doesn't know what they're doing because they're doing training aids in the middle of a round. That's also going to give me advice.
If I saw a guy using a training aid on the actual golf course, I think I'd have to take a full beer and throw it. I'd have to throw it at his golf bag.
I would like this to be known. Absolutely nothing wrong with it on the driving range. Correct. So before you all start ripping on us, like, why can't people go try and get better? You can. Just do it on the range.
If I saw a guy using a training aid on the actual golf course, I think I'd have to pick up his ball and throw it into the pond.
while he's in his pre-shot routine.
No, after he hits it.
Okay. No, I think you should do it in his pre-shot routine.
If I saw a guy
he's hooking up his fucking forearm thing, and you walk over, you just take his ball and chuck it in the woods.
If I saw a guy using a training aid on the actual golf course, I think I would have to go up and try and make small talk right away and then just hit his ball for him in the complete opposite direction.
You become the training aid.
If I saw a guy,
keep going.
If I saw a guy, yeah, you guys feel free to just piggyback on this. It might be a good clip. Wink, wink. If I saw a guy using a training aid on the actual golf course,
if I saw a guy using a training aid on the actual golf course in the middle of a round, I'm going to give him a coupon to join the local pickleball club.
That's a good one.
I'm not going to be mean to him. You're being very confrontational. I'm too scared to do that unless they did something mean to me.
If I saw a guy using a training aid on the golf course, I may have to call the cops and tell him that he committed a crime that he didn't actually commit.
No, if you see somebody using a training aid on the golf course in the middle of a round, you'd have to call the cops and ask them if they're looking for a murderer because you found them.
Hey, are you guys still looking for Dahmer? I couldn't remember if he was caught or not, but I think I'm standing right next to him because he said he asked me just to take some pictures of him.
Yeah, he asked me to film his swing, and he's got a pool noodle in his butt cheeks right now. So I found him.
He has a string of golf balls up his butt right now.
We don't kink shame though.
No, I don't know if those are just mental health shots or if he's actually doing that for mechanical purposes. But I can see the last Pro V1 hanging out of his ass.
That takes Noah's pocket rocket idea to a new level.
Hey,
drop a pocket rocket.
Okay. If I saw a guy using a training aid on a golf course, I think I would have to, next time he has to go to the bathroom, I think I'd have to just unplug the battery of his golf cart.
You cut the brake line.
If I saw a guy using a training aid on a golf course, if I think I might just have to disconnect one of the wheels from his push cart and take it with me myself.
All right. Brian, he's getting close to next thing. He's like, if I see a guy using a training on a golf course, I'm going to slit his throat.
I'm going to fucking
kill
him.
You're getting close.
You guys, come on. I know when to toe the line and when not to. Oh, gosh. Let's see here.
I was trying to segue into another DM.
If I saw a guy using a training aid on a golf course, I may have to hit in their direction and not yell for.
You're so violent.
See, now we're getting closer.
We are getting closer. We're not to that line yet, though.
I'd have to hit a stinger about 2 feet above their head.
Now, if you, the listener, has an argument behind this, like say this is a practice round for like some sort of tournament, let us know. I mean, we've been wrong before.
That could be a good excuse.
But okay, I'm talking about casual golf on a weekend with your buddies, or like, you know, you're just out there.
Saturday morning round, get out of here with your training aids. Do it on the driving range. That's it.
Okay. Here's a hypothetical scenario that I want you to finish, Tyler.
8
a.m. tee time, Saturday morning. You are already at the golf course, and I pull up. Okay, grab my clubs. We each get we get a cart. We're sharing a cart today. We roll up to the first tee box. You grab a tee, your club, and a ball. 2 balls, that is. I grab my club, a tee, 2 balls, and then I start blowing up one of those ball apparatuses that hangs off your neck, and then you pinch it between like your elbows and forearms.
Mm-hmm.
Walk up to the first tee and get ready to hit my first shot. What are you going to say to me?
I tell you, look you in the eyes, say, take that off. You're not playing with that, Ryan.
Well, I know, but last time I was at the range, I used it, and dude, I was striping drives.
Well, none of your shots count today because you don't get to use training aids in a round. So pay me now.
It's got to be cheating.
Totally cheating. 100% cheating.
Totally cheating.
So I think that would
don't cheat.
I think that would get you to take it off real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, well, have fun shooting 1,000 today because you're going to get a max on every hole.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
because I don't cheat.
What is max for every hole is double par, technically, right?
I think so.
I know. I see some people do that when we put out the hole.
I mean, I put 7s on par 3s down on my scorecard.
Yeah.
Hey, once you believe that, I put 7s down on. I put 9s down on par 5s.
Yeah, it's
easily could have put a 7.
8s across the board if you're showing up with that thing on your neck. All I got to do is get one hole less than an 8 and I win.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy you a beer for sure.
No.
When we get to the turn, I'm for sure not buying you a Bloody Mary.
And if you refuse to take it off, I might just walk. I don't want to ride in a cart with you at that point.
You hear that? That's a pitch mark fixer. Is that what?
That's what the internet says. It's a fucking divot fixer.
I'm taking my divot fixer and I'm popping that thing immediately. And then I'll feel bad and I'll probably buy a new one on Black Friday sale or something like that. But yeah, back to what we were talking about. Coming up with an original idea in the golf space it's obviously not easy anymore because
there's so many things that exist.
Because Joe Blow with 1,000 followers could come up with a really cool product. Like anybody can do it. You don't need a ton of money to do it either.
Well, and it's weird to think about like in the 1950s that people were trying different stuff. Because you think about the 1950s and you're just like, oh yeah, they just had pretty basic wooden drivers. Mm-hmm. And apparently not. They were trying all sorts of shit like interchangeable club heads in a backpack. Like, what are the odds that I never would have suspected that that's something they were trying back then?
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine can you imagine the talk around the world of golf? Obviously wasn't as big then as it is now, but can you imagine the talk when clubs went from wooden shafts to steel or graphite shafts?
Right. And even driver heads.
Correct.
Like I
went
think,
from wood to whatever, steel.
Yeah, we were alive when it went from the like solid, like I don't know if it was steel or what metal it was, to the carbon heads. Yeah. We were alive during that transition where it no longer made the high pitched metal bat ping.
Correct.
And started making like the weird echoey thud.
More like a BB core bat.
Yep. Yeah. So
terms.
we were around for that change. So I would imagine it was similar because you had the people that were like, why would I ever change? This driver is straight as an arrow, yada, yada, yada. And then the head started to get bigger and bigger. And so we've seen change in the golf realm. So it's just crazy that throughout the years, since the beginning of the sport, there hasn't been anything crazy. Like there have been attempts like the interchangeable golf head that obviously did not catch on. It's just been a stick with a club at the end and people throw it in a circular cylindrical bag and they play the game.
Now,
all these things they try to change. Really, it comes down to it's like the core of it's the exact same.
For sure. No, 100%. Do you know what the up and coming kind of trend in the world of golf is right now? In my mind,
I don't.
It is lead tape on your irons.
Oh, yeah. I think that kind of started with Michael Block, to be honest. Like that's when it got popularized. Like hardcore golfers have been doing it for years.
Correct. But it hasn't become mainstream yet.
Yeah, but like the average Joe Blow, at least I didn't know that was a thing people did until Michael Block showed off his irons after that heroic run he went on for a tournament.
Yeah, and I'd never really seen it. I'd never really seen it in person until we had our PXG fitting with Travis. And Travis had it was a stack of lead tape on the back of his irons, and it it was pretty cool.
Huh.
But that's the thing with these new clubs. A lot of the new technology is like the interchangeable weights and the distribution of those weights.
Yep.
Now, how about let's just make a little magnetic slot. Is lead magnetic?
I don't think so.
Let's just make a little slot, and then it comes with 5 different weights of 5 different types of lead weights that you can just slide in, slide out, whatever.
I mean, that's kind of what the PXGs do. I know you got to use the tool to unhook them.
Yeah, but you don't get those weights you either take out or you swap around. I'm talking like you can take you get a baggie of lead weights that you can put in or take out. You can change the weight, half an ounce, 3/4 ounce, whatever.
I'm just confused how this is different than the PXG weights, what you're describing.
These ones come in multiple different weights and you can take them out.
You can with the PXG ones too. They all weigh different weights, and
what the fuck am I talking about?
I don't know.
Why does this feel so different, so much different in my head?
I think the only difference in my head right now from what you're describing is that you don't use the tool in your example.
Yeah,
but otherwise, to me, it sounds the same.
Fuck, you guys. I don't know. Let's move on.
Okay, so what I want, I think it went really well last week with the homework. I think we should do it again.
What was the homework?
The homework was to come up with your own golf sayings.
Oh, and we did that.
Which people are already using it. I have a DM I'm going to read.
Oh, okay.
People are using the phrases we came up with. But I think homework.
Are they really?
Yeah, I'll read you the DM here in a second. But the homework I think for next week should be for each of us to try to come up with a new golf idea. Something we think in our heads. We don't have to do any research because I don't want us to be like, well, I already did it and I found out it exists. I think we should let the listeners debunk us if it already exists, because it makes for good conversation and it just shows how big of idiots we are. But each of us try to come up with a new original golf invention. Okay. Something we truly think has never been done before.
Okay. I like that.
There you go. More homework for you guys. I'll read this DM, but I think we should take a break first.
Okay.
And we'll get right back into it.
Let's do it.
Got a DM yesterday from Dylan Gilbert.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Dill.
Where's he? Okay. Yep.
Don't know where he's from.
Gilbert, Arizona.
Could be. Dylan wants to know, he says, morning, long time listener. So I have a predicament coming up.
Banana for size or no?
No, I don't.
25 male, I'm assuming.
Did not give his stats. Okay. So next time you DM Gilbert, drop your stats, age, gender, shoe size.
Shoe size and then banana for reference.
Yep.
Banana for scale.
Yep.
Anyway.
Okay. Morning, long time listener. So I have a predicament coming up. For the holidays, my girlfriend and I are going to stay with her parents in Florida for a whole week. Her dad is a +6 handicap.
And wait, what?
Apparently her dad's a fucking stick, dude.
Dude, I don't even think the tour pros are +6. Keep going.
Anyway, her dad is a +6 handicap and wants to go golfing at their very nice country club private golf course. I shoot in the mid 80s to low 90s and can keep pace of play, but I have a wicked RFK.
Okay.
He goes from left to right.
Okay.
There it is. There's the first use of our phrases.
Slice.
He doesn't drink on the course, and I've been told that he will definitely try to give me golf tips while playing. I'm all for playing the course, but I won't be able to drink, and no one likes being coached for 18 walking holes. Please send help.
I mean, that's
it's tough, dude.
And that's very definitive of him to say no one wants to be coached for 18 holes, but I think that's one definitive statement you can make.
Yeah.
Unless you are purposely out there with a coach because you want to be coached for an entire round.
Or it's your caddy coaching you.
Correct.
For 18 holes. Honestly, dude, you're going to have to sneak some booze.
You're going to have to
keep some shooters in your golf bag, and you're slamming those things when he's taking his shots.
You're going to have to, and if you can't, if you don't want him smelling booze, you may have to get some edibles, some gummy bears. No, I don't mean the Haribo gummy bears or the vitamin gummy bears. I mean the Delta gummy bears.
Yes. Absolutely. You're going to have to find some sort of mood enhancer.
Yeah, because I think it has to happen. You have to go out.
You can't tell your father-in-law to F off with the advice.
No, you can't tell him that, and you don't want to sound scared to go golfing with him, or like a little unsure, because that's gonna set the mood right away.
I just came up with it. I know how to get him to not give you advice.
Okay,
100%. This will work. You get him to gamble with you. What person in their right mind is going to give their opponent advice when money is on the line?
You obviously need strokes. So you agree on him giving you strokes, however many that is per hole.
Yeah, but you don't care about winning money in this situation. The loss of money in the round is your price to not get constant advice from this guy.
Correct. And not that you would ever play this way, but if you would never play straight up with a guy like this if you're shooting high 80s, low 90s. Yeah. But if by chance you did, he knows he's going to beat you, and he's going to continue to give you golf advice because it doesn't matter. He's going to beat you anyway.
Yep.
You got to get strokes off right away so it's close. So then he's not going to give you any advice to give you a chance of maybe beating him.
Yeah. So you started like any sort of negotiation, buying a car, whatever. You come in with a lot of strokes, hope fee counters, with something more reasonable. You guys meet in the middle. You agree to play $1 a hole or $5 a hole, whatever it is, and just know you're going to eat that cash, and that is the price you pay to not get constant advice from your father-in-law.
Well, and if you're not allowed to bring or buy booze on the course, the money you would spend on that booze can just go to your father-in-law for the holes that you lose.
Perfect. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a worthy price to pay.
I think that's number one, a great solution. Another solution you could even piggyback on top of that is when he does start giving you golf advice, just make sure things do not go right when applying that golf advice. Because if I feel like someone who's giving advice would probably tend to give up a little bit easier on somebody if they see that they're just not coachable. So if you just kind of set the standard that you're not coachable and the advice he's giving is not working, he's probably going to stop giving you advice because he's given up on you.
See, I mean, the tough thing that makes this is because it's such a weird dynamic with the father-in-law too. You do want to impress the guy. So I think just the only way you can impress him while eliminating the advice could be the gambling thing. Because if you do act like a dipshit and ruin his advice, he's going to think less of you.
That is true.
And then there's the constant struggle between father-in-law, son-in-law. You don't want to immediately become lesser. Yeah,
but also then if his advice starts working, he's going to give you more advice down the road, and he's going to if you happen to start becoming a better golfer, say you're shooting low to mid 80s now, he's not going to let you live that down, that he's the one who turned your golf game around.
Okay, but also maybe you want the advice, because if homie is actually a +6 handicap, you might have something you can learn.
But I'm probably taking advice from a +6.
There's nothing worse than unwanted advice, though. So if he doesn't want it, then you just don't even want to hear it.
It doesn't sound like he wants it, but if this dude's a +6, maybe you should listen a little.
I would like to see what my guy Dylan's wife would have to say about this, because she probably grew up getting advice all the time on stuff.
Yeah, Dylan, have your wife DM. Let us know her dad's vibe.
And she would probably be able to unpack why he does that, and different ways around that advice.
It could be super innocent, like dad advice, where he's just like, keep your head down.
Like he genuinely wants to help you out.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like this guy's a dickhead by any means. It just sounds like he's over willing to share his advice in the course.
God, and also like, I mean, for someone marrying into a family, you want to be able to impress your in-laws.
Yeah.
So if this advice does start clicking with you, and post around, like, let's say you shot one of your best scores at a really nice course with your father, like, number one, that's a story you can tell for a long time. And number two, if you start kind of like pumping his tires a little bit about like, you go up to your mother-in-law and be like, fuck, Dale really knows what he's talking about on the golf course, and he gets wind of that, he's gonna like you.
But be careful, if you do it too much, he's gonna want to golf with you all the time.
If the bill's on FOL,
that's true.
FIL.
That's true.
If the bill's on FIL, then why not?
Maybe just get ahead of the curve and just start asking for advice immediately. You can just prevent all the middle ground and
get it out of his system early.
Yeah, and then maybe he'll I mean, that's like a respect thing too, like just to be like, hey, I think highly of you. And then like it's like, you know, like when Eminem in 8 Mile, right? He said everything in the rap battle that the guy had to say against him. He had nothing to say after that.
Well, he got out ahead of it.
Yeah. Get ahead of the curve. Hey, what do you think about like this? Like, and then,
hey, I noticed you did this with your setup. Like I've been having trouble with that. What like what kind of pointers would you give in my setup?
Yeah. And then, shows attentiveness to like detail too. Like you see like that in his game. You're like, oh yeah, how do you do this?
The only thing about that makes me nervous is you're definitely opening the door for more on-course advice.
For sure.
He's like, well, this guy's willing to hear what I have to say before we're golfing. I can't wait till we're actually golfing.
It could go two ways.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, it's a feast or famine piece of advice. Either you're nailing it and he's going to get it out of his system before the round and leave you alone, or the floodgates are now open and he's going to be correcting you on how to sit in your golf cart.
Yeah, and maybe if you don't like your father-in-law, if that's the situation here, you could try and get into his head a little bit. Try and get into his head. Like if you can get into his head to a point where like he starts playing not that good, he starts playing like a 2 handicap or a 3 or 4, then he's gonna fucking pissed off at and then he's never gonna want to golf with you again. And if that's truly what you want, if you try and play some mind games, because I feel like the casual golfer is so much better at playing mind games than the really good golfer.
Okay,
because they're more so focused on this, like manipulating the psychology of the better golfer, and the better golfer is focused on their golf game. So I'd have to say the casual golfer is one of the best golfers to be able to get into somebody's head.
So detail that we've missed here. not father-in-law.
Oh.
Girlfriend's dad.
Oh, well, the fuck, that changes the whole thing.
It sure does. It sure does. I don't know why I read girlfriend, but we all were thinking father-in-law.
Okay, that changes the whole dynamic. If you're trying to put a ring on it, I mean, do whatever the fuck you say.
Yeah, dude.
Because eventually you're gonna have to like the manly thing to do is to ask him for his daughter's hand.
Hey, yeah, if he's asking you too much advice, just ask him if you can marry his daughter mid-sentence.
Yeah.
He'll be like, all right, well, your elbow's a little too far out and your club head's not coming. Hey, can I marry your daughter? Is that cool?
Do you think, let's see. Do you think I could marry your daughter?
So if I set up like this, could I marry her or no?
I think now, like knowing this, the most important thing in this round is composure.
Yeah. This
Forget everything else. Stay composed. Whatever happens, just right in the middle.
Well, yeah, there's also no guarantees that this guy's going to be in your life forever.
Correct. So
maybe the pressure's off a little bit. Unless you're trying to marry this girl, which it sounds like it's pretty serious if you're going to Florida to hang out with her family. You could mess up and it could be nothing. So you could break up in 2 months.
Yeah.
So maybe just do your thing. It says no booze, do it anyway. Let him know who's boss.
Yeah, let him know who the fucking man of the family is. It's you, Dylan.
Listen up, +6. I'm drinking today. And there's nothing you can do about it.
+6. I'm going to be +6 beers ahead of you by the fucking turn here. Okay. And that's how today's round is going to go.
So anyway, I hope it works out for you, Dylan.
Love you, Dylan.
Love you, buddy.
You said you had another DM to read?
No, those are the two. We had 55 DMs of the Interchangeable Golf Club.
Okay.
And we had Dylan's story. So that's what I got for you today, folks.
All right. Well, next week's homework, everyone's got to come up with their own original golf invention. I mean, the whole lead tape thing, you never know if you're going to get one of those again from me. You probably will. So just be prepared. Mentally prepare yourself for next week's episode. You might get something out of left field that completely doesn't make any fucking sense from me. That's life.
I can't wait for Noah. Noah's going to come up with his mid podcast.
Yep.
He's going to take the whole week,
mid-pod.
put it off. You and I are going to start talking and Noah's going to be over there just thinking.
Yep.
Hey, on the fly last week was pretty nice. I did all right.
No, people like the phrases. So,
okay. Guys, that's all we got for you this week. This week's Double Bogey Show. We will see you again next week. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Jordan Weber. Guys, he's filthy rich off simulator tournaments. So the richest simulator player in the entire world. Had him on the pod. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We will see you again next week.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.